We're just 3 months away from that sweet E3 news, but it's official. Following the trend from the other big console manufacturers, Xbox will not have a presence at the physical event, but that doesn't mean they'll be completely quiet during E3.
And PlayStation Plus is stepping up their game with some recent game announcements. We're going to talk about all of this news and so much more right now on Gaming News Weekly. Gaming News Weekly is back. We are the best weekly video game news show out there. Every single Monday, we're bringing you all the biggest news happening in the video game industry. We're on Fruit Lab, YouTube, podcast services everywhere. My name is E-Rock the Red. I'm joined every week by this dapper gentleman right here. Full clip. What's the haps, dude? How you been?
Yo, what's good? All right. Doing okay.
All right.
Thinking,
he's whipping it out.
Yeah. Oh, geez. These games keep getting newer, but we keep getting older.
Exactly. Yep. This is like it's like we're old guys with new games. I don't know what's happening anymore. I've been drinking. And my favorite beer came out today. It's a Ruby Red Grapefruit Kolsch made by Genesee Brewing. Yeah, it is delicious. If you like grapefruit, it tastes like so yummy.
Probably tastes like a little bit of like Red Bull or some of those energy drinks that have the grapefruit taste.
I bet it does. I don't drink the Red Bull, I only stick to the hard stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm a few beers in, so it'll make for an interesting show this evening.
Hope so.
What have you been up to? Anything exciting?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Haven't really had time to dive into any new games. I think last week we already talked about playing Death Stranding. I want to get further into that. I just haven't had the time to pick it back up. And Call of Duty, back on that grind. It's going to take a grind to get this Battle Pass done in time. I'm at like 35% or something like that. I think I have like 28 days to go. So if I'm going to get it to 100%, it's going to take some effort.
Dude, didn't it just come out? When did it come out?
Feels like it. Probably half a month ago or so.
Oh, wow.
This one is way shorter than the last one was.
Now, what is this? I kept seeing things, and now I'm sure I could have clicked on some sort of article explaining it, but I figured I'd just ask you, what is this? It said, like, Battle Pass Reloaded. That just came out, like, what is that?
Yeah. So maybe it's like a 2-month cycle thing, or it's supposed to be anyway, because it's like the halfway point.
Oh, okay.
It's when a new bunch of stuff drops, so you get a map or two back.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's coming out in chunks. So this is the newest one. All right, I kept seeing stuff about it. I'm like, I am out of the loop. Yeah, that's cool. So you haven't played any more Death Stranding?
No, not yet.
Okay. I still want weekly reviews on that game as you're playing.
Oh
it. Yeah, dude, I haven't played any much either. I just been playing like Fortnite. So yeah, I've been exhausted. I'm telling you, man, the daylight savings thing, it's messing with me. I've just been exhausted. The other day, I tried playing some games and I was falling asleep while I was playing them. It's not good.
Geez.
It's not good, man. I'm only like in my late 20s. I shouldn't be falling asleep.
You're gonna have to do what the late 20-year-olds do and get some like uppers or something.
I know. I need lots of uppers. Just like you're talking about, like cocaine, pills.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I'm with you. But one thing, so you know how I constantly talk about these mystery bundles for like Steam games?
Yeah.
A new one came out. Now, so I get that through Fanatical. Great website, have amazing bundles, tons of great deals on games. So a new one came out, the Spring Mystery Bundle. You get 10 games, $6.99. Wow. And so I've had, and I also get 5% off. So you get a 5% off coupon every time you make a purchase. And I've had, a bunch of purchases. So I thought it might be interesting. I bought the bundle, have not revealed my mystery keys yet. So I wanted to go through it real fast since we've got a little bit of a lighter show tonight. So you let me know what you think of these games as I reveal them. Ready? Here we go. Game 1. Slain, Back from Hell. I actually have that one already. It's like a I got that in a different bundle. It was like 99 cents for something. It's like a shooter, like a shoot 'em up type game. 12 is better than 6. Is it? I'm sure it is. I don't know.
That's just a statement, or
listen, you do me a favor. Look that one up while I reveal the next one. Here we go. Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders. I do like murders, but like, yeah, video game murders, not real life murders, of course. Hellbound. What is Hellbound? That sounds familiar. I might have Hellbound as well.
Yeah.
Did you look up 12 is better than 6?
Yeah, it actually looks a little bit interesting. It's like an ink-drawn, top-down sort of Western gunslinger, but it's all in like white and blue ink pen.
Okay, that sounds good. Hellbound. Oh, I have this one too. A hardcore 90s inspired shooter for true warriors. So, all right, I've got, and if anybody out there, if I say I got a game, if they sound interesting to you, let me know. I'll give you the key. Goat of Duty. That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah.
Is it like a goat simulator, Call of Duty type game?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh man, that's gonna be a winner right there. Monster Slayers, which sounds like a generic, just some generic game, The Smurfs Mission Vile Leaf. The Smurfs game. Now this is one. So now I'll give it to my kid. I'll be the generous father. You know what I mean? Here, I got you this amazing Smurfs game. Cave Blazers. That sounds like when you're smoking weed, you're gonna cave blaze.
Sounds like something.
That's when you go in a cave and you blaze. Space Crew Legendary Edition. Now every time I buy a bundle, I feel like I get this game. So if you want a space simulator game, it's well reviewed, you let me know. All right, I'm talking to you, full clip. You can see you're really rocking out Space Crew. Pixel Heroes Bite and Magic. Ugh, this bundle stinks. This is what happens. Did I buy these bundles? It's only $7. You get 10 games. The opportunity of getting some decent AAA titles.
Yeah.
Not this time. And you know what that means?
What's
I
that?
just need to buy another bundle.
Yeah, exactly. I think you got your $6.99's worth out of the Smurfs game.
I agree. I agree. And that 12, I bet Goat of Duty. Let me look that one up real fast here.
Now that sounds like a good one for content at the very least.
Oh my God, yeah. And I also really love saying duty. This is a fast-paced multiplayer shooter where goats armed to the horns bleat face-to-face in a relentless death match. All right. That sounds... Let's look at the reviews on Steam. Very positive. 90% positive reviews. So there we go. That one, that right there, worth it. I'm excited.
Yeah.
You should get Goat of Duty. We'll play together. We'll have a whole goat squad.
Exactly, yeah. Let me know what the season pass is like.
I will, absolutely. All right. Well, now that we did that little experiment, let's move things along, shall we?
Sounds good.
All right, let's talk about our new releases from last week. All right, our first game, The Dark Pictures Switchback. So this is a VR game for PlayStation 2 VR. This came out March 16th. So I was excited for this one. This one was on, like, it was going to be a day one purchase for me. And since then, I've been hearing not the best things. So what it is, it's a literal on-rails shooter. You're on a roller coaster, and you go through, and you, like, shoot these things that come at you. Witches, vampires, zombies. You know, the usual. And what I'm hearing in the reviews is that, like, it's super short, not a great story, and the visuals, like, the biggest thing in VR is, like, you want, like, decent visuals. And I'm hearing that they're, like, not good. They're like, people have been saying they're like PS3 visuals, like, just not on a PS5, like on the highest powered VR system out there right now. So it's kind of a bummer, right? It's got a 69 on Metacritic, and so I think it's like maybe $30 or $40 title. And instantly I was like, dude, I have a ton of VR games that I'm playing right now. So I don't need it at that price. I still want to check it out though. So they made the previous PS VR game Until Dawn Rush of Blood. It was the same kind of thing. It was a roller coaster shooter thing. And I had a blast with that one. So I do want more of it, but if it's this quality, this short, 30, $40, I'm gonna wait for a sale on that one. I'm not made of money,
Yeah, when it comes to these, I mean, there are a lot of VR2, PSVR2 games coming out in a short amount of time right now, so you really do have to pick and choose.
There's so many. There's a couple that I haven't even started a few of the games that I bought when the system came out. So I had I had like a little bit of an injury last week, and I just was like, I don't feel like I mean, like I could play sitting down, but it's not as fun. So I was like, I just want to lay on the couch. So that was my lack of VR last week. All right, next up, Bayonetta Origins, Sarisa and the Lost Demon. That came out March 17th for the Nintendo Switch. This one is it's a prequel to the Bayonetta series, but it's like super cute. It's not like a sexy librarian with guns. Now it's like a tiny little, child.
Yeah, visual style changed up completely on this one.
And it looks amazing. Like still, like I love the visual style. It's super beautiful. Like looks like watercolor paints. Very cool idea there. But yeah, it's just it's an action adventure game. You play as Sarisa before she became Bayonetta. And she's like a witch, and then she's got like this demon friend, and you control both of them, and you do cool witch and demon things. Right? That sums it up.
Yeah.
Witch and demon things. That's actually printed on the back of the game. Yeah, it's not our cuppa. We're probably not going to play it.
Yeah, I've not played the other Bayonetta games, have you?
Yeah. No, and if you were going to play any of the Bayonetta games, I would say leave this prequel alone and go play the one with the sexy librarian where her hair is her clothes. And sometimes she doesn't have clothes on. And last up, WWE 2K23 came out March 17th for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, XS, and PC. This is the one. This is the best WWE wrestling game since I think it was 2003's SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. It is getting amazing reviews. Now, I'm not a huge WWE fan, but the reviews, man, and what I'm seeing in this game really make me want to get this stupid thing because it's got tons of features. It's got like a whole bunch of these game modes. There's this showcase game where you play as like John Cena and you have to play all his matches, like his most famous matches. And then there's a My Faction mode where you create all these things. My GM mode where you could run like a whole wrestling organization. And then it's got like all the brands, all the titles. They introduced this new match type called War Games where there's like these 2 rings and it's insane. Huge roster of like all the legends and the current wrestlers on the that are in WWE. And then of course it's got that super deep customizable creator wrestler mode that I've already been seeing like people making some really interesting creator wrestlers. So yeah, it's got it all, man. I think it's like a 80 low 80s on Metacritic. So, for one of these games, that's great. Especially since 2K, I think it was 2K20 was literally unplayable. Like it was broken. I played it. It was a point. Here's a quick little story. Myself and 2 other friends, we were playing online, each from our own homes. And we were playing in a match. And my friend Justin and I were seeing one thing on the screen. We're like, oh, get him. Like, and our other friend was seeing something completely different. And not like a time thing. It was like there was different wrestlers. Like there was an entirely different outcome to the match.
Wow.
It was insane. Like someone got pinned in the one we were watching, and someone entirely different got pinned in the other one, and he was like, "What is happening? What are you talking about?" It was so confusing for a few minutes until we realized this was happening. And then we looked it up, and it was like a known problem. Never got fixed, never got patched or anything like that. It was just unplayable.
So that sucks. I've really never heard of anything like that in a game so far, but I guess that's their way of compensating or not for a little bit of lag or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was so weird. But yeah, it's come a long way here. These 2K games. So
yeah.
And then, like, I think the following year they might have taken a year off, and then they didn't make one. They made like a really like arcadey, like cartoony one.
Yeah. So was it a WWE 2K game that you did the Fruit Lab Wrestling series of videos?
It was. It was the one prior to that actually worked. The year prior to that. So yeah, it was good. That's a good reason to get the 2K23. I can make more, Fruit Lab Wrestling.
Absolutely.
All right, those were our new releases from this past week. Some exciting games that have come out. If you played any of those, let us know what you thought of the games, and if I should get the wrestling game. If I keep spending all this money on bundles, man, I don't know if I can afford this brand new wrestling game.
Good point. But you could just gamble until you get the wrestling game in a bundle.
That's true. $3,000 later, I find out it's not. It's not even in the bundle. All right, should we move on?
Sounds good.
All right, the Xbox Sony battle has continued to heat up this past week. Some exciting things happening. It's been a little bit since we've really, talked about the Xbox Activision merger and Sony's, their position on it. But yeah, this week was fun. So Jim Ryan, he is the Sony CEO or chief something. He said some very interesting things wasn't in an official meeting, but it was, two people in the press and in the public and stuff like that. And I want to just read this article. So this is an article from gamesradar.com, and I just want to read some of the first bits so I don't mess it up, and then we'll talk about it, all right?
Yeah.
So an Activision exec claims that Sony chief Jim Ryan said he had no interest in an improved deal over Call of Duty and was simply focused on blocking the Xbox Activision deal. Now they sweetened up a little bit what he said here. But Activision chief communication officer Lulu Cheng Meservy, she posed a rhetorical question. We've offered Sony guaranteed long-term access to Call of Duty, but they keep refusing. Why? And then according to her, the answer to that question was provided on February 21st when Microsoft and Sony's executives met in Brussels, reportedly in an attempt to hammer out details of this deal. On that day, Microsoft confirmed its deal to bring Call of Duty to the Nintendo Switch and announced an additional similar agreement with NVIDIA GeForce Now, but it seems they didn't make much headway with Sony. She claims that Ryan told Xbox and Activision that I don't want a new Call of Duty deal. I just want to block your merger. So that's the gist of this whole thing. Now, what was your takeaway from that, from his statement?
Well, I feel like he said the quiet part out loud, but I think it's we all knew it. It was obvious.
We did.
It's
it was
exactly
very
what
obvious.
They want.
Yep.
We know that Microsoft is not, the claims they were making a week or two ago, Microsoft's not going to give Sony like a bugged version or a version that they bugged 3 months down the line. That's the kind of stuff Sony was coming up with. But they're playing like lawyer in the courtroom right now. They're coming up with any sort of argument against it that they can because that's their job. Yeah.
And I mean, it's working. Like, so it's funny, like looking at both sides of the thing. Both sides are really, they're using cheat codes to try to get this thing moving along. They're both are doing the ambulance chasing lawyer tactics. You got Xbox on one side just saying like, we're friendly with all game things. Look at, you want a 10-year deal. They're like, Oprah, you want a 10-year deal. You get a 10-year deal. And then Sony's like, they're seeing that this is not a done deal. And they're like, okay, let's push back on this. And like, this is not a surprise to anybody. They don't, it's Jim Ryan and Sony talk a lot about Call of Duty specifically, saying that, like you said, they're not going to offer it on this system, or it's going to be different, or they're going to come out with DLC for their other one and that, not this. Because after this deal goes through, there's no commissioner that's going to be babysitting, making sure that, Call of Duty gets done. They're not going to be playing both, versions of it and be like, well, looks like they were right.
I didn't see that operator skin in the other version.
Exactly. So like, it could happen. We're not saying that it's going to happen, and most likely it doesn't make sense that it would happen, but like, shit could happen. It's we don't know. That's why there's these, these organizations, these government bodies that look into these, because, who knows what Microsoft and Activision plan. We always think they have, our the players, focus, but no, they could do whatever they want. They could be the bad guys as soon as they get this deal. Now we will keep everything.
I don't even so much think that they have like the players in mind, or at the top of their priority list, but their money definitely. And a lot of the things that Sony claims that Microsoft will do doesn't make sense from a money standpoint. Because I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't have don't have PlayStation. I forget where I'm going with this. They don't have Xbox. They're not going to buy an Xbox because of COD alone or something like that. So
yeah, they have a PlayStation. Like, yeah, they're not gonna. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. There's a lot of gamers that buy one game a year, and it's Call of Duty. Yeah. So, who knows? But it is definitely exciting watching both sides. At this point, I don't even care. I don't care. Initially, I was like, yeah, I like this idea of a deal. Give Microsoft the ability to get their hands on these titles and make them fresh again. But I do see some of the downside to it. I definitely see some possible negative effects on the industry. So right now, I have no horse in this race. I just like watching. You know what I mean? What about you? Do you care either way, or?
Like, yes and no, because Call of Duty is the game that I will most likely buy every year. If that were on Game Pass, great. If Sony takes a deal to get Game Pass on PlayStation, even better. Everybody wins in that scenario. And if the Call of Duty for that year sucks and I'm not playing it 6 months later, well, I had a whole library of content that I could play in the meantime. I'm out nothing.
Sure. Yeah. No, I guess as far as like a subscriber to Game Pass, if we're just talking about Game Pass, not talking about anything else, like, I mean, it's a fantastic, possibility in front of us. Although, like, even now, I feel overwhelmed with the amount of games that I have available to me. Like, Can you imagine if we're getting like more of those? But yeah, it's interesting to watch it all go down. Now, speaking of Microsoft, they also made another 10-year deal, a couple of them actually. So one of them was to a Ubitus. It's a cloud streaming company. So this deal enables them to stream Xbox PC games as well as Activision Blizzard titles after the Activision closes for another 10-year deal. Of course, that 10-year deal. Do you think maybe they're just thinking about like that year 11 when everybody's going to be groveling for their, please, sir, do you have any more of that Xbox Activision deal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. And then, I don't remember what the other one was. It was like Boosteroid, a Ukrainian cloud service, the largest independent cloud gaming provider in the world. They made a 10-year deal with. And then they offered a 10-year deal. I just read this to Steam, and Steam was like, "Get your 10-year deal out of here. We trust you." Handshake. They took it as a handshake deal. They didn't even want a deal. They're like, "We know you're gonna put Call of Duty on Steam for 10 years. We don't even need to make a deal.
Yeah,
So.
I have thoughts about that one because it was the most annoying thing in the world when Vanguard released, and the only platform that I could buy it on was the Blizzard launcher, and I had to go find like Blizzard coins or something because I don't like paying cash.
Uh-huh.
If I can get it through Pips or something, I
Sure.
will do that 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, then they finally came back to Steam, and maybe that's why Steam feels so good. They're like, you already learned your lesson. You're
Sure,
with us. You're gonna launch on both.
That's probably it. You're probably right. They saw like, you need us. Yes, and they do. I really do feel like it's a disservice to both sides, to Steam, to Activision in that case, and to the players, not offering it anywhere you can. Epic, Steam, like just put it out there. It's stupid to make people go to one specific place to get a game they want to play. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, but we're not done talking about Xbox just yet. This is our whole show. It's all Xbox. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. So they also, on top of all this, merger stuff, they officially confirmed they will not be at E3. We've kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but they finally said we're not going to be there. So they're having their showcase June 11th. We heard about the Starfield showcase. They're also going to have their own Xbox games showcase prior to that same day, June 11th. Now this is E3 starts June 13th, so this is going to be like that week. So it's still going to be E3 week, but they're just not going to be at the convention. They said, deuces, we're doing our own thing. So, I don't know if I want to go to E3 right now. I don't know what's going to be there.
Yeah, is E3 always in California? Do they ever have it in like New York City or anywhere like that?
No, I'm pretty sure it's always over on the left coast.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to go to one eventually, but man, it sounds like it's
dying
a little downhill.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem good, especially because they haven't even announced who was going to be there. We know who's not going to be there. Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, they're not going to be there. But they haven't told us who is going to be there. So it's, we talked about it recently, that Reed Pop, they do all the conventions, the Comic-Cons and that sort of thing. And they're usually pretty good. But they have not, announced anybody. They said full roster of exhibitors will be announced in the lead up to the expo, providing participating companies the opportunity to make their own individual announcements beforehand. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of game companies and that sort of thing. But the big ones, I don't know. So, it's kind of a bummer. E3 was always like my favorite week, dude. It was just so exciting. I would be on the internet like all week just watching videos and looking at cool stuff. So, I'm hoping that it's not dying. I'm hoping that it's just kind of becoming something else. What that something else is, I don't know, but yeah, something's going to happen. Now that all the big companies are really just kind of cutting out that middleman of E3 and just saying, listen, well, let's just do our own thing.
Just being involved digital. They'll have to rethink it. They'll have to see like, okay, who's coming and what can we get in front of people that makes more sense than what they've done in the past, because that's apparently not working.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've never been to one. I've seen enough, articles and videos of them. So there's always that, you want the show floor. That's where you go and you play the demos and you have the, behind closed doors videos of like games and stuff coming out or content that these companies are making. So hopefully like the big game companies can continue to do that, because that will continue to draw press and video game fans to the place. But even like companies like like Bethesda, if Xbox is going to be there, is Bethesda is Activision going to be there with this merger on the line? Like some of these big companies that we always look for games from, I feel like they're not going to be there too. So, I don't know. we'll see. June 13th, it kicks off. Hopefully there's some, fun stuff to talk. I'm sure there's going to be enough to, fill up a bunch of gaming news weeklies. But, yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Yeah.
All right, enough about Xbox. I'm sick of talking about them. Let's talk about PlayStation Plus. They've been really stepping up their game. Now, this could be, to push back against the monster Game Pass, because we've talked about it previously that, Game Pass, it's like the cool way of saying it. Game Pass.
The French version.
Yes. They've always come out with these day one titles, day one release available on Game Pass, and PlayStation Plus really hasn't done that. They did it with like Bugsnax. That was like it. But they've announced recently that they're going to be coming out with some of these day one titles. Well, one of them is available in March. So here's the list of games coming to the PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium Games catalog in March. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. So this has Uncharted 4 and Uncharted The Lost Legacy remastered for the PS5. Available. When are these available? March 21st. So these are all coming out March 21st. Chaya. This is the day one game that I'm talking about. So you, it's this like beautiful, cutesy looking game where you can become like an animal. You take control. You like put your soul. You like put yourself in an animal, and then you just that turns into like one of the games that you like to play. But like you can become a bird or a fish, and then you swim through the thing. It looks really cool. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction, 3-player tactical co-op first-person shooter. I've talked about it. I've always wanted to try one of those, but I'm terrified that like I'm just gonna get yelled at and called names online because I'm not good. So I don't. So I don't know. Maybe we need to find a third and make a team and just go smash people.
There you
go. Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm excited for this one coming out. It's didn't get the best review, so I didn't buy it, but I still wanna play it. It's like a spooky action kung fu game or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I think playing not Life is Strange. Playing Death Stranding has kind of put me in the mood for the Japanese horror genre. I'd really like to try out Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah. And then Life is Strange True Colors. Speaking of Life is Strange, and Life is Strange 2, those are both like point-and-click adventure titles. Great stories. I played the first one, never got into the second one. Immortals Phoenix Rising, basically a Zelda Breath of the Wild clone, but you're playing with Greek gods. That game, I beat that, and I've been like just kind of slowly like it's a game that my son loves to watch me play. So I've just been, every once in a while we'll go in there and try to get some more trophies to the 100% thing on that one. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I don't know what this is. Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if an adventure game. You advance through the story and form powerful bonds with other heroes from the Dragon Ball Z universe. Street Fighter V Championship Edition, and then Untitled Goose Game, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, Rage 2, Neo: The World Ends With You, Haven. Those are all coming to the PlayStation Plus Extra catalog, and then in addition, coming to Premium, Ridge Racer Type 4, that's a PS1 title, Ape Academy 2, a PSP title, Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, also a PSP title, available on PlayStation Plus Premium. So, dude, so many games that I want to play coming out in March.
Yeah.
Really, really exciting. Like, I never got to play Uncharted 4, so that's super cool. That's been on my list of games to play for a long time. This Chaya game looks amazing. Ghostwire Tokyo, I wanted to play that since it's come out. And then I definitely recommend Immortals Phoenix Rising for anybody that likes just a good adventure game. Street Fighter V, since they've been releasing the Street Fighters coming out for the new game, I'm like, yo, I should check out a Street Fighter. It looks fun. It looks cool. Untitled Goose Game, We have that on the Switch. You ever play that game?
No, I've watched it though.
It's a fun game, man. It's a blast. Like you play as a goose and you just piss people off. So it's a lot of fun. And then Rage 2, I've heard great things about. So yeah, man, they're stepping up their game big time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think some of the comments that I've seen really reflect that, and I think we have another one that we're going to talk about pretty soon. That's another like day one PS Plus release.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know you were excited for it. Meet Your Maker. It's going to be day one on PlayStation Plus, April 4th. So this is the new game from Behavior Studios, the guys that did Dead by Daylight. I think they're it's an entirely different game. Nothing like the last one. You build these rooms and you set these traps, and people gotta go in there and try to beat the room. And I'm so psyched that this one's gonna be on PlayStation Plus because I wasn't sold on it. Like, I like the idea behind it, and I'm like, I gotta check it out. I gotta check it out beforehand, and now I get to do that because it's available day one. So very cool. You gotta get a PlayStation. You gotta get a PlayStation 5 now and get in on this action.
Yeah. I mean, I am hoping just maybe they'll do like a PC sort of version of it like Xbox Game Pass does.
Yeah.
But I'm not holding my breath for that to come anytime soon.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see I mean specifically just like this Meet Your Maker game. I could see that. I was thinking I could see that coming to Game Pass as well and not having like real soon. I don't know if they have like a deal that it's going to be available day one on PlayStation, but I do think that Ghostwire Tokyo is available on Game Pass when it comes next month as well. So,
well, what do you think about that idea where, like, rather than just one or the other, a lot more new AAA games come out on both subscription services and maybe even other subscription services that have maybe even fewer games, but it costs a little less, or more games and it costs a little more?
Yeah, no, I it's all about just getting these games out there. And specifically games like Meet Your Maker that require a large player base, it's the perfect move. Like instantly you're getting people that are going to be building these rooms and these traps and stuff like that. And you have this huge catalog of, potential content for this title. Whereas, and before that, it's just based on how many sales you've done. So, I mean, since I remember initially when Rocket League had been out on PC. They put it out on PlayStation Plus soon after that, and it got huge. Like, that was the biggest move for Rocket League. It created this huge player base, and, it was free. It was a free game that you could play, and it was just, like, this high-quality, like, multiplayer game. And since then, that I remember that was like one of the first to really do that, to utilize the subscription service to boost their player base. And now look at it, it's still going strong. You ever play Rocket League? You ever get into Rocket League? Okay,
a little bit when it was like early out on PlayStation.
Yeah, I played it a bunch early on. I remember I platinumed it for the PlayStation system, and then I was bored with it, and then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna play it for a while. Then I didn't play it for years, and then I think it was like the beginning of the pandemic. My buddy and I were looking for a game to play, and we're like, let's play this. And then I got super into it again and just played it like regularly for like 2 years.
It's kind of like one of those games like Warzone or Fortnite with the build mode. It's so hard to break back into that because people are throwing the crazy jumps and spin moves and stuff.
I'm telling you, like, I played it for years and I still couldn't do like fly through the air and like do the flip where it goes into the thing. I don't know how they do it. I don't have the my hands don't function that way. Look at these things. They're just a mess. I'll tell you what game I am excited to play with these awesome hands. A game that's more up my alley because I'm an old piece of shit. That was your quote. Full Clip said that, and I was like, I mean, you're right, but you don't need to say it repeatedly. He repeatedly said it.
I'll stop texting you that.
It was like 3 a.m. and then 4 a.m. I'm like, all right, I get it, dude. I'm old. Toxic Crusaders. This is a new game that was just announced. It's a side-scrolling brawler, kind of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that came out. So it's like really retro looking. And have you ever watched any of the Toxic Crusaders like movies, the Toxic Avenger or anything like that?
I was gonna ask, is that like an 80s thing or a 90s,
It is.
early
It
90s?
is early 90s, late 80s. So it's this production company called Troma, and they just made like really, really, really B movies. And one of the main characters, and one of them was the Toxic Avenger. And he got so popular in the early 90s, there was a Toxic Avenger cartoon. And he's just like this deformed janitor that he got dipped in sludge and he has a mop as a weapon. It's so weird. So like all the the young kids that are watching this now are like, what the is happening? And but yeah, now they're making it all of a sudden out of nowhere a 4-player co-op, side-scrolling retro beat 'em up with the Toxic Avenger and all his friends, like some sort of a Wolfman, and other stuff. So I got really excited when I saw this.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the 80s things coming back. We saw like Killer Tomatoes from Outer Space or something like that.
Exactly.
And Ghostbusters is having a renaissance.
Exactly. It's happening. You're right. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, that's what it was.
Yes. Ooh, but I do want to see the
Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes game. Yeah, it's nice that these companies recognize, that my old ass needs some cool games too. So, very exciting. And that's it. That's all the news we got for you today. I know we talked a lot about. Feel like not much, but I think it's probably because I've had too many of these.
That's all right. I think we covered everything worth covering this week.
That's it, folks. Gaming News Weekly, another week in the books. Make sure you check this show out. You can check it out on Fruit Labs, posted every Monday. YouTube, you can find it at Pop Culture Playground. And then podcasts everywhere. Any podcast service, type in GNW, type in Gaming News Weekly. You're going to find our voices talking to you about video games. It's the coolest thing. It's the wave of the future. Podcasts. Right? We're in on the ground floor on these podcasts.
We're on cutting edge.
Trust me, they're real cool. And then go to Fruit Lab, type in E-Rock the Red, type in Full Clip, watch our quality video game content there. Leave us a thumbs up and say, go get them, Tiger. And then you could also go to YouTube, Pop Culture Playground. Like I said, it's where I post a lot of other random stuff. And then Game Facts, GAMEFAX, is where Full Clip posts a lot of random other stuff as well. So, so much content out there from us that you can just keep watching it until you die. Which is hopefully not soon. I'm not saying I want you to die anytime soon.
We don't want you to die.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm saying there's a lot of content. Maybe not like enough content that you can watch until you die. But unless you die.
You never know when you're going to die.
No one knows. Except I know sometimes. Mm-hmm. But if I take just the right mushroom, I could tell anybody when they're going to die. That's for a different podcast. All right, we got to get out of here. I need another beer. And that rhymes. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.